Good morning, everybody. My name is the Sobri Boys Walefatsi from the Big R, doing nothing else but the sports program called the Big R Solution Sports Program. You know that every morning, Tuesday and Saturday morning, we give you a short brief. We talk about something that is controversial or something that needs to be looked at closely. So that's what we do. So today being Tuesday morning, I want us to look at a very beautiful story that has been written by Ngwako Malatji of Sunday World. The story is pertaining to Generals Pitso Mosimane and Mamelodi Sundowns. I'm sure people you are aware that there is a legal action happening between the two parties. So we just want Ngwako, because he has done work as far as that is concerned, to give us the story, as he knows it, as he outlined it in their paper. But firstly, let me welcome Ngwako. Ngwako, welcome to the show. It's called the Big R Solutions. How are you doing?
Thank you so much. You.
All right. You wrote a very nice piece of work. Well, that's English. We say piece of work, even it's a good thing. Because sometimes when you say a piece of work, it means something. Sometimes, well, we are not English people. Remember?
Yes.
It's a third or fourth language to us. Ngwako,
Yes.
the big R stands for all the positive R words. Those are our principles in English, which those words we refer to words such as responsibility, relationship, results, reflect, review, resilience, records, all those things. All right. We are largely a financial company. We do a number of things on finance. We do debt counseling, we do financial planning, we educate with finance. We have written books that educate with finance. That's what we do. Our work is to educate, to make people understand. But as you know, that finance cut across. Finance is everywhere. Now you go to football or sport. That is why if you go to our YouTube channel, which is called the Big R, you'll see that we have a sports section. At some point, we talk to celebrities and all that, because there's finance everywhere. Now, the story that you wrote, it has a lot of finance in it. So can you see the relationship? And the relationship is one of those principles of the Big R. So just tell us, give us the viewers out there, what is happening? What is happening between the two parties? Feel free, take your time if you want to outline.
No, thank you so much for inviting me to your show. What actually happened was that in May, in fact, let me start from the beginning. The year before last and last year, we did a series of stories about Pitso's unhappiness at Mamelodi Sundowns. One of the things that made him unhappy the year before last and last year was Mamelodi Sundowns' decision to appoint a technical director. Because Pitso did not actually want the team to appoint a technical director, because he did not want to report to the technical director. He actually wanted to report directly to the president of the club, that is Dr. Patrice Motsepe. And one of the but the club went ahead and appointed a technical director. I was not happy with that. Our sources, multiple sources that we spoke to at Mamelodi Sundowns, told us that, he was not happy with that. The other incident that actually made Pitso unhappy was when he was attacked by some officials at Mamelodi Sundowns, who were actually not happy with his performance at that time because he was losing games. But, the fortunate part of it is that eventually Pitso won the league. So our sources told us that he brought those issues to the attention of the board and the president and said, I'm not happy with these officials, because they are always on my case and they don't understand football the way I do. And, unfortunately, those matters were not attended to. So so what happened was that, Pitso's contract came to an end. He wanted certain things to be done before he could sign the contract.
Sorry, Ngwako.
Yeah.
If you can look at the camera, because you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened was that eventually Pitso's contract came to an end, and he then started negotiations with Dr. Patrice Motsepe and other executives at the club to say, these are my demands, these are my conditions, these are my terms, can you meet them? Eventually, they were able to find each other. He signed a 4-year contract.
That was when, sorry, Ngwako, that was when 2019.
2020, last year. When he signed the contract. Yes.
Okay. Well, at the beginning of last year?
Yes.
Okay.
That was the beginning of last year. So what happened was that then there were issues with the issues between Pitso and certain officials at the club continue to, to bother him. Nobody did anything about it, and I remember one of the things that actually made Pitso unhappy was when he was actually forced to apologize for the comments that he made at the end of that season when he won the league, to say certain people at Mamelodi Sundowns did not have confidence in me, and I ended up winning the league. I don't know what they're going to say and stuff like that. So then,
now, while you're still there, Ngwako, sorry man to cut you short.
Yeah.
Do we know, has these officials been mentioned? Are they there in the papers, the court papers?
Well, we have written about those officials. One of them is Cedric Muela.
Okay.
Cedric Muela. And, we've mentioned him in our previous articles. I know that Pitso was not happy with Alex Chakwani because Alex Chakwani, Pitso accused Alex Chakwani of leaking information about his strategy to the media. We did that article. Mr. Chakwani himself apologized to Pitso. Mosimane, when we spoke to him, he said he apologized to Pitso. It was not his intention to hurt him. So whether or not Pitso accepted that apology, we don't know.
That's another story.
Yeah.
And so the technical director, sorry, who's the name? What is the name of the technical director?
I can't remember the name, but he was a Spanish guy that they eventually appointed.
He's still there. He's still there.
No, he left.
He left. Okay.
He left. But he was not happy because he wanted to have a direct communication with the president. Remember, Pitso wanted to do things his own way, so that when the club blames him, the club can blame him for the decision that he made. Without actually seeking permission from other people and stuff like that. But we know now, after, with the story that we did, the first story that we did when Mamelodi Sundowns took him to court, that he lost that battle. Because in the court papers, Mamelodi Sundowns included the copy of Pitso Mosimane's contract, in that contract, they made it clear that he would actually report directly to the technical director.
So the contract is explicit. It's explicit.
It's explicit
as far as that is concerned.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So a few days before he could actually leave, we spoke to our sources who actually said Pitso was not happy because the team was actually forcing him to apologize for the comments that he made, and he said, "No, please explain to me what constitutes." What is it that I said that constitute bringing the name of the club into disrepute? Why don't you actually force other people who actually wronged me to apologize? Why should I apologize? And the president of the club, we did that story, said no, you must apologize and stuff like that. And that was the breaking point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before you go any further, sorry, man, I'll try to interrupt so that we follow properly. Now, that was last year when he lost the case. Where was the case? Was
Yes.
it court or was in front of the management?
No, it was not in court. It was in
front of the management.
They were saying, yes, you must apologize for the comments that you made.
No, before you apologize for the comments that he made, I want to get this one whereby the contract was brought into his attention that per contract, you have signed a contract that says you must report to the technical director. So I'm saying that matter was in front of the management, not in front of the court. And when was when was that? So that's the one.
The issue about the technical director happened long before he could actually even sign the contract that he did not actually finish.
That was the previous one.
That was the previous
contract that was going to come to an end.
Yes.
Okay.
So he did not want.
So when did he lose the case? Was it 2019 or 2020, the beginning?
Like I'm saying, we now know based on the story that we did, the first story that we did, when Mamelodi Sundowns took him to court to force him to pay back the 8 million rand agent commission that they paid him. We now know, we learned that he actually lost that battle to say, I don't want to report to a technical director, because the contract that he signed, the one that he did not finish, is very clear. It stipulates that he must report directly to the technical director.
Now, Ngwako, let me get it. Let me get it clear.
Yes.
The first contract that ended was saying he should report to the technical director.
Yes, that he did, the one that was terminated.
Yeah, so that is the one which was a bone of contention, which was in front of the management. They said, no, you don't have a case because you agreed. So he lost it. Now, you also spoke of the new contract that he signed. Now, the new contract that he signed, when did he sign this one? When did that one be terminated? And this one, when it was signed, was it having the same clause or not? I hope you understand, because it's like I'm talking of two contracts.
Okay. I'm not privy to the previous contract that he signed prior to the one that was terminated. I'm not privy to that contract. But we know that one of the problems that he encountered at the team was that he did not want to report to the technical service director. So we learned afterwards that through this contract that was terminated, that he lost the battle with management to say, I don't want to report to the technical director. The new contract that was terminated that he signed was stipulated that he should actually report to the technical director.
Now I'm with you. The first one is not an issue because we are not privy to it. The second one, which was terminated, that's the one which was saying report to the technical director. And that's the one that was causing friction.
Exactly.
So now they decided to terminate this one. And from there. From there, that's where the 8,000 come into 8 million coming.
The 8 million. So now what happened was that then they terminated Pitso's contract because he refused to apologize when he was instructed to do so by the management of the team and Dr. Patrice Motsepe. They terminated the contract and said, you are free to go. Which was a massive story when he announced that he has resigned and stuff like that. Now, in May, then the club decided to take Pitso to court. We got information from our sources.
Yeah, before they go to court.
Yeah.
Now the team says, "Oh, Chief, you have failed to abide by the requirements of the contract.
Yeah.
So we are going to terminate." All right.
Yes.
And that was the contract that created the, the separation between Pitso and Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yes.
When was this contract terminated? In December last year? Before it goes to Al Ahly? When was it?
No.
Okay.
I think it was in September last year. It was terminated in September.
In September last year. Okay.
Yes.
So when did he join Al Ahly?
He joined Al Ahly the same month, in September.
In September. Okay. It was terminated in September.
Yes.
In other words, all these problems were boiling up. Now, come that stage in September, Chief, you can't meet one of your obligation as per the contract. So we are terminating the contract. So within that month, then he got a contract with Al Ahly in September.
Al Ahly.
Okay,
yes.
Fine. Now you can start from the matter now goes to court.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now Pitso goes to Egypt. He coaches the team. He wins trophies. And we knew that there were tensions between Mamelodi Sundowns and Pitso. And I think you would also attest to that because, when he came to play Mamelodi Sundowns, some of the supporters were mobilized against him. They were insulting him and stuff like that. Now, in May this year, then we got a tip-off that Mamelodi Sundowns filed papers in the Johannesburg High Court in which they were demanding that Pitso and his wife, Moira Tlhagale, who owns the company called Moira Tlhagale Sports and Marketing, to say now they want him to pay, they want both of them to pay back 8 million rand agent commission because he did not actually finish the contract with the team. And, the contract, according to the papers, they said they paid the 8 million rand to Pitso's wife because the 8 million rand was linked to the 1.5 million rand salary that he was earning at Mamelodi Sundowns when he was coaching the team. So because he did not finish the contract, so they are entitled to repayment of that money. And they wanted him to pay back the money. And they indicated that they give him 30 days to respond and stuff like that. So we published that story to say, here is the team that employed Pitso Mosimane as the head coach. They issued a joint statement to say, we've agreed, both parties have agreed that Pitso must go and, to join this team in Egypt. All of us thought, hey, there's no problem. The two parties are now drinking from the same calabash. There's no problem. But to our shock, we discovered that Mamelodi Sundowns are saying, Chief, pay back what we paid you because you did not finish the contract. And we're giving you 30 days to actually give us the money or go to court and tell the court why you should actually not give us the money. And we now know that Pitso, after a few days after we published the story, Pitso's wife issued a statement and said, they don't have problems because, they tried to actually engage the club about this money that they are demanding. And they tried to reach out to Dr. Patrice Motsepe, but he ignored them and stuff like that. They don't understand why the matter ended up in court, which was, a story that, hogged media headlines and everybody wrote about it. Fine. Then last week.
Okay. Now, before we go to last week, in the contract, you have seen that contract, the one that is in
yes, I've seen the contract. Yes.
All right. In the contract, does it says if you don't finish, we want our 8 million rand back? Does it say that in the contract?
No. I've not seen that.
You didn't see it.
I haven't seen. I've not seen that in the contract.
Okay. I like your answer. It's better to say you didn't see it because we don't know what argument will be brought in court. Remember, we don't want to discuss the merit. We are not party. We just want to give the public information that this is what is happening, okay?
Yeah.
So that we educate them. Our purpose is to educate as much as it's info edutainment. That's all what we are trying to do. So that is what I say. I'm happy with that answer because I don't want you to be embroiled. Yeah, if you said you haven't seen it, I'm happy with that.
No, I've not seen that. Yeah.
So now let's move on. Because I cut you. You were already explaining.
Yes. Now, last week, then we get a tip-off from our sources that Pitso has actually filed papers to oppose the application, the club's application for him to pay back the money, and we were able to lay our hands on those court papers. And upon reading them, we discovered that Pitso is actually saying that he's not actually going to pay the money, and because he signed what we call what he calls intermediary agreement to say with the club to say if ever there are disputes arising from the contract that they signed, those disputes must be referred to a dispute resolution of the National Soccer League dispute resolution. So his expectation, the dispute must be referred to the NSL dispute resolution committee before those disputes could be referred to court. So he's surprised why the club chose to go the legal route instead of referring this matter to the dispute resolution committee. Two, that is one. Two, the then president of the club, according to him, supported his move to resign from the team. Hence, they signed what they call intermediary agreement, which actually says he must not actually pay the commission because he left through an agreement that he had with the then president of the team. So
when you talk about the then, sorry again, Ngwako,
yeah.
When you talk about then, are we referring to Dr. Patrice Motsepe?
Yes, I'm referring to Dr. Patrice Motsepe.
Okay, fine. Yeah,
And then he goes further. He goes further to explain how he was humiliated, in the team. The reasons why he's actually decided to leave Mamelodi Sundowns. He's actually repeating the very same things that we indicated in our previous stories. That he was actually told that he brought the name of the club or of the team into disrepute by actually saying the things that he said during a post-match interview. So he needed to apologize. And he's actually saying that he requested time. His wife actually chipped in to say, can you give Pitso time to look at your request to apologize? They said, no. We're not going to give you time to apologize. You need to apologize. And they prepared an apology for him to go and read it out to the public. And he felt that, those things were making his work conditions in the team very, 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 very difficult. And the other thing, one of the things that he said was that he was sent letters by the management of the team saying that you must give us pre and post-match, reports, every week, instead of once a week, as per the contract that he signed. So
once
he said
a week. Okay, let's get it clear, Ngwako. You said they said you must send a report every week as opposed to once a week, or you wanted to say as opposed to once a month?
once, you know, hold on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you hear very well what is happening. We don't want to come up with any opinion. We just give you the information as the public out there to know what's happening and have understanding of what is happening. Mr. Ngwako Malatji is the guy who wrote that story in the Sunday World, and I'm sure you hear that they've done an extensive work as far as this is concerned. So they've been following it. So he's the one who's giving us the details. So, Mr. Ngwako, maybe you made a mistake. You said they wanted him to give a report every week instead of once a week. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he says
instead of once a month.
He says the contract that is signed with the club stipulated that he should actually give them a report once a week. But these people who made his stay at Mamelodi Sundowns difficult then changed and said, we need you to give us a pre and post match report. You know, if he's going to play Tuesday, then he must then write them a report before he could actually play. And after the game, he must actually give them a report. And if he's going to play again on Saturday, he must give them a report before the game on Saturday and after the game on Saturday, instead of once a week.
That will be, in other words, if they are playing, because Mamelodi Sundowns, I think they were playing 3 times a week. So they would give about how many? 6.
Then if he plays 3 times a week, then Pitso was required to give them 6 reports.
And this new instruction was not in the contract.
Well, he says these new instructions were not in the contract that he signed with the team.
Okay.
And he says those are some of the things that made his stay at Mamelodi Sundowns very, very difficult.
So that was Mr. Pitso Mosimane's allegation. Remember, we are dealing with allegations here. We are not dealing with facts. The court will decide which are facts, which are not facts. And once the court has decided and the matter has come to finality, I don't know up to where, then we'll be saying these are the facts. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So and we tried to solicit comments from Mamelodi Sundowns on Saturday, and unfortunately we could not. They could not come back to us. We sent them questions. They could not come back to us, and our assumption was that maybe they did not want to talk about this matter because, as you correctly put it, is sub judice before court. They don't want to say anything outside what they've actually told the court in the papers. They chose not to comment. It was difficult for us to get hold of Pitso and his wife, and we published the story, and I must say that the response is massive, because you're talking about Africa's best black coach.
Yes, not even black coach. Africa's best coach. Let us not qualified. We don't say black coach. He has done even better than any other races.
In Africa. And you're talking about one of the biggest teams in South Africa, probably the richest team in South Africa. Some people will argue it's the richest team in South Africa. And and
the biggest team in Africa in Al Ahly. So it's a very juicy story. Now, so did you try to get a response from the then president, the current president of CAF, Dr. Patrice Motsepe?
No, remember we got the papers Saturday at about between 5 and 6, and we just decided that we should actually speak to the spokesperson of the club, because the spokesperson of the club will speak on behalf of the club and the president, the then president. And we sent him questions. Unfortunately, he did not respond and to our questions. And like I said, the assumption was that maybe they did not want to talk about this matter because the subjudice is before the court.
Ngwako, a very beautiful story, I must say. But
Thank you so much.
What pains me, Pitso is doing well in Africa.
Yeah.
The shining light. Dr. Patrice Motsepe is also doing well, the then president.
Yes.
He changed the landscape of football in South Africa. Not only that, he's currently the president of CAF. We wish that sanity will prevail, because they normally say when the two bulls are in a scramble, the grass suffers. Yes. So we just hope. We were just giving information. We don't want to take sides. People who have a difficult task is the court.
Yes.
We should go through all these papers and finally decide. Ngwako, thank you very much. Thank you for the information. And then, like I said, our appeal or our wish is to see this being resolved amicably, because we need both. We need both. This was the part of the year whereby we see people from our shores leading in Africa. Remember, we've never had CAF president from the southern part of Africa. So this is for the first time that we have such. And this is for the first time we have a coach from our shores going to Egypt and conquer, playing in the Club World Cup. It has never happened in our case. I'm referring in our case. I'm not referring to Africa. In our case, because Al Ahly has played many times in the World Cup, a Club World Cup. So, we are proud of these two gentlemen. So thank you very much. A very beautiful story. And then I don't know, in your closing remarks, what do you want to say?
No, well, I agree with you to say all of us, our wish is that, the two can find each other and resolve this matter out of court, so that, we can continue to see them doing well in Africa. As you indicated that Dr. Patrice Motsepe is the president of CAF, and Pitso is the coach of the biggest team in Africa, and their attention is not good for football. It is in the best interest of football that they find each other, and hopefully they would. And that's all I can say from my side. And thanks very much for inviting me to your show. I'm looking forward to another invitation.
Yeah, subscribe to our show. Then I will invite you more. Don't worry. Subscribe to our show.
I will. Thanks very much.
That we are talking about. A last one. This is a real last one. Do you have a preview? Do you have a knowledge how much Pitso is earning now at Al Ahly?
No, I don't. Just the speculations that he's earning 2 million. Speculation from other sports writers. I don't know how much Pitso is earning, but I know that people who were supporting him at Sundowns said, Pitso was prepared to actually accept even less than what he was earning at Sundowns, because he was extremely unhappy with the conditions there. But I really don't know how much is Pitso earning. Perhaps as this matter continues to be ventilated in the court of law, would be able to know how much Pitso Mosimane is earning there. Because I can guarantee you, they're still going to file, both parties, if they are unable to find each other outside court, they are still going to file papers. And I think in the process, we would know how much Pitso Mosimane is earning there, and will inform South Africans accordingly.
Okay, thank you very much, Ngwako, and then keep up the good work. We really appreciate. I need to thank you, and then I also need to thank the management of Sunday World to allow us to conduct this interview. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.